Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 434 based on novel. So let's start. In the inner area of Tilted Peak sector, white boat flew by, and Luo Feng was sitting it. That white boat was boat of Mausoleum, which had changed its size and color. It was a machine-type valuable, so it could change its appearance. However, it still had to be in the shape of a boat. Okay, I understand it. Rest assured. Luo Feng's mind answered in the virtual universe. His target was Peixing Master, so he needed to locate him first. After all, Peixing Master wouldn't just stay in one place and not move. Peixing Master was found 11 years ago, whispered Luo Feng. It's Ice Flower Rock World in Tilted Peak sector. It might take me around 80 years to get there. That Peixing Master is indeed adventurous. I've been in Tilted Peak sector for 200 years, and I still haven't found him. I can't believe a new universe master can be this mad. Luo Feng failed to imagine the passion and ambition of a universe master who had been suppressed for 18 universe eras and finally got the chance to enter Universe Ocean. Don't disappoint me, Luo Feng thought. I chose you over the valuables left by Jie Fanzi. He then smiled awkwardly. He had already traveled several times to the green keepsake space where the valuables from Jie Fanzi were left. The first time, he had entered Universe Boat and fought 5 Chaos Master. He had gotten trapped in the 9th Abyss, yet he had put away the valuables from Jie Fanzi because of the inheritance from Duandong River. The second time, he had gone to get the White Wing, and after getting it, he had separated his 2 bodies. However, Huge Axe had suddenly died, so Luo Feng had summoned his Golden Horned Beast body. This was the 3rd time. He had been flying in Universe Boat for 400 years, and he had suddenly learned about Peixing Master. There's a saying from my home planet, Earth, good things are a long time in coming, Luo Feng whispered. I failed several times. Can there be some surprising gifts in the green keepsake space of Jie Fanzi? Actually, he didn't care much about that keepsake space. To him, other wings of Shawu Wing were obviously much more important than the valuables left by Jie Fanzi. He turned around the second he learned about Peixing Master. Perhaps there is a happy surprise. Luo Feng smiled, closed his eyes, and kept practicing. Ice Flower Rock World of the inner area of Tilted Peak sector. The white boat was flying in the sky. Huh? Nothing? Luo Feng sat in the hall of the boat. He had 4 wings on his back. When I sensed that white wing, it was dozens of light years away from me. Yet now, I can't sense anything. Either that wing isn't the one I want, or he's not in Ice Flower Rock World anymore. Luo Feng frowned. He looked at the outside world. There were giant flowers growing in Ice Flower Rock World. The flowers looked beautiful, but there was a sense of killing hidden in them. The entire space was made up endless flowers. What should I do? I can't find them anyway. Luo Feng frowned. It was very difficult to track a great being in the 3 lands of Extremis. After all, it might take someone several eras for a great being to wait for a valuable to be born. Even though the intelligence network of the Hong Alliance was impressive, there hadn't been any updates on Peixing Master's traces. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Perhaps I can do this. Luo Feng smiled. He had a thought, and a being showed up, which was a golden horned beast. It was carrying a pair of white wings. When I was looking for Heavenly Young Knight on the original stars, I only had 1 pair of wings, thought Luo Feng. I could only sense the white wings when I was close enough to Heavenly Young Knight. With 2 pairs of wings, I can feel it dozens of light years away in Tilted Peak sector, even with the waters and wing space in the middle. Apparently, the more wings I have, the stronger than summoning will be. If I combine all 3 pairs of wings, the detection distance will be far. The detection distance of 1 pair was less than 10 billion kilometers. The detection distance of 2 pairs was dozens of light years. What about 3 pairs? Hundreds of light years? Thousands of light years? No matter how dangerous the inner area of Tilted Peak sector was, Peixing Master had been in Ice Flower Rock World 90 years ago, and a universe master wouldn't be able to go too far. Luo Feng should be able to sense it. White wings, Luo Feng thought. The pair of white wings merged with the back of the Earthling original body. Just as they merged, the 4 silver wings and the white wings integrated like gears, forming 6 perfect wings after connecting with each other. The 6 silver wings on Luo Feng's back suddenly shook. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, and he looked exhilarated. The summoning. That direction. Luo Feng looked at a direction in the distance, as he could clearly sense the summoning coming from there. Other wings of Shiwu. There they are. Luo Feng was thrilled. It didn't matter whether those wings belonged to Pei Xing Master or not. There was a summoning, so there were wings in that direction. Let's go. Luo Feng drove boat of Mausoleum and raced toward along that direction. Luo Feng understood that the sensing was mutual, and if the other side ran away, it would be a trouble for him. However, the other side didn't know where the summoning came from. A great being in the three lands of extremists would only think of it as an opportunity, so they wouldn't run. Besides, Luo Feng was closer to the exit while the other side was farther away. Even if he was trying to run, Luo Feng could stop him. Luo Feng dashed toward the other side with his craving for those wings. The waves were tumbling and sweeping through the area. The space was annihilated every time it was hit. A strange, three-level tower was on the waves. That direction, all four faces of Pei Xing Master looked confused. My wings? The black wings on his back were trembling. Summoning. Something's calling me. Pei Xing Master was excited. Am I really that lucky? I've stayed in the Holy Universe for 18 eras, and my chance comes right after entering Universe Ocean. In the Holy Land, Pei Xing Master had heard a great deal about the dangers and opportunities in the three lands of extremists. He'd been expecting the chance for a long time, especially after hearing that a brat who had only practiced for fewer than 20 eras had obtained the Duandong River inheritance that even the ancestor wanted. Humph. With my power, as long as I don't meet a Universe Supreme Master, I'll be safe. Pei Xing Master was very confident. He had fought quite a few Universe Masters before, and even Universe Masters at top-tier level 5 couldn't hurt him. It's in the inner area, so Universe Supreme Masters shouldn't be here. Even Supreme Masters need to show some respect for Purple Moon Holy Land. Pei Xing Master's interest was piqued. He flew in that direction with his palace true treasure. The farther he flew, the more confident he got. Ha ha! The valuable summoning me is also flying toward me. It must be carried by a Universe Master, and that Universe Master also senses the summoning. Pei Xing Master was content. Based on his speed, he must be a Universe Master instead of a Supreme Universe Master. Pei Xing Master grew more excited after confirming that the individual on the other side wasn't a Supreme Universe Master. They could feel each other, and they were racing toward each other as fast as possible. Only the stronger one can win. The stronger one will get the valuable. Pei Xing Master was growing more and more excited. I just left the Holy Land, and I'll be renowned in Universe Ocean. Universe Masters from Holy Lands thought differently, as they had eternal lives. Some loved adventures, some loved killing, and some wanted to be renowned in Universe Ocean like Pei Xing Master. It was quite normal for Universe Masters to have such thoughts. Sheesh. They are coming really fast. Great. Luo Feng accelerated his boat of Mausoleum. The wings on his back were shaking vigorously, and the calling was getting stronger and stronger. It saves me time. I'll kill you instantly. Sparing this being's life? Luo Feng didn't even consider it. Since the Purple Moon Holy Land had already given a killing order, he didn't need to show any mercy to their beings. More than 20 years passed, and they got closer and closer to each other. The calling was driving both of them mad. Incredible, incredible. Pei Xing Master felt that the four wings were trying to fly away. The summoning made Pei Xing Master's godly body tremble. What kind of valuables have such strong summoning? Are my wings parts of a supreme true treasure? Pei Xing Master was excited. Ah! He thought. Could I have such a great chance, too? If even that human Luo Feng can get the Duandong River inheritance. Why can't I get a supreme true treasure? The individual on the other side only has a component, so he might not have realized how precious it is. Pei Xing Master's heart was racing. They were drawing closer to each other. In the sky above the mountains, two traces of light flew toward each other, one from the left and one from the right. Here it comes. Pei Xing Master was ready to attack. I'll stay in my true treasure palace first. I just entered Universe Ocean, and I rarely show my true treasure palace. Few know about it. If I show my palace, he'll know that I'm good at binding and that he won't be able to get away if he's trapped. He might fly away now. I'll show my true self later, said Luo Feng. He might run away if he sees my face. Though I can trap him with Golden Country and Snow Sand Ocean, it'll still take me a lot of time. I might as well save some time. Such a competitor. I might just give him a quick death. Luo Feng stayed in the white boat and didn't leave. They kept approaching each other. Just when the two true treasure palaces were only 1 billion kilometers away from each other. Peishing Master with 4 faces and 16 arms had his 4 black wings wide open and appeared in the space. He thought it was close enough. There is no escape for you, said Peishing Master as he looked at the white jade boat in the distance away. He was filled with fighting spirit, and the 4 black wings on his back were shooting out 5 streams of light rays, representing the 5 laws of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. The might of these 5 light rays soared up high in the sky, high like a rainbow, and immediately moved over to enshroud the white jade boat in the distance. From Peishing Master's point of view, even if the other party stayed hidden within the palace true treasure, he would still be able to trap him by using a restraining technique. Then he could direct the other party to some extremely dangerous environment within the internal domain of Tilted Peak sector where he could make use of it to kill the other party. Then the treasure would be without a master. Just the beckoning of mutual attraction between the treasure and him would bring it flying over to him. My precious. Peishing Master was looking forward to laying his hands on the treasure. Peishing Master, shouted a voice. Huh? Peishing Master was shocked. Suddenly, something felt wrong. He could see the white jade boat stopping too, and walking out of it was a man with 6 silver wings. Peishing Master momentarily rejoiced at the sight of the 6 silver wings. His wings were originally silver, too. But when he saw the man, his expression changed instantly. Human. Black hair. Silver wings. It only took a fleeting moment for a name to surface in his mind, Luo Feng. The one person he was most jealous of. How could he not recognize him? Without a palace-type supreme true treasure in hand, any universe master who crossed paths with Luo Feng had no chance of survival. No. Peishing Master turned around and flew straight into the 3-story minaret behind him. He knew there was no escape. But he was reluctant to admit it. He had been in the Holy Land universe for as long as 18 reincarnation eras, a very long time. And finally, he had made it here to the Universe Ocean. He felt that his name had just started to make an impact within Universe Ocean, so he couldn't bear the thought of dying now. Although he knew he could not escape, he still longed to run away. He would try his very best to hang on to even the slightest hope of survival. Why are you trying to escape? Luo Feng shook his head. How nice if we could have a conversation. Luo Feng stretched out his left hand, and in the middle of his palm was a miniature star tower. Star Tower flew out and expanded rapidly. A deep abyss black hole appeared at the base level and took aim at the faraway Peishing Master. An incomparably strong suction power was directly exerted over Peishing Master, causing Peishing Master, who had previously been flying toward the 3-story minaret right next to him, to instantly let out an anguished howl. Peishing Master, void of any strength for resistance, was pulled toward Star Tower. Why can't you give me a chance? Give me a chance for survival. Peishing Master did not even have the motivation to put up a struggle anymore. Previously, he was still hopeful that Luo Feng would not execute any of his killer moves. Then with that little amount of time, he could perhaps try to make a hasty escape. From a Universe Master's point of view, being sucked into Star Tower was an absolute nightmare. He had not expected Luo Feng to execute such a killer move the moment he arrived. You are so cooperative, said Luo Feng. If only you weren't from Purple Moon Holy Land, I might still spare your life. What a pity that you are from Purple Moon Holy Land. Your only option is annihilation. Luo Feng shook his head. Star Tower, originally exerting a suction force, was instantly driven to the 4th layer of secret engravings by Luo Feng and started executing the technique of smashing. To make things efficient, Luo Feng also executed extermination. With extreme might, Star Tower bombarded Peishing Master's 4-faced head at lightning speed. Peishing Master had 16 arms, and all 16 tried to stop Star Tower at the same time. Unfortunately, they were instantly smashed to ashes, and Star Tower continued smashing all the way to the head of Peishing Master. Shortly after, complete annihilation. Using power that was at the 8th tier as the top level against Peishing Master was immensely effective. He had just come out of his Holy Land universe without any pinnacle true treasure armor, and his defense level of godly power was barely comparable to a power that was at 4th tier as the top level. He was simply too weak. Peishing Master's only merit was his ability to restrain. His combat power, defense ability, and other forms of abilities were only at the 4th tier standard. He was only good at restraining and escaping. These two skills were considered to be at the 5th tier standard but were not enough to be considered as the 5th tier as the top standard yet. So by using an 8th tier as the top level power to kill a universe master who only wielded a 4th tier as the top level power, the difference was 4 levels apart. It was akin to a 5th stage top tier existence, like Primal Chaos City Leader, killing a 1st stage top tier existence, like someone who had just become a universe master, whose life gene was merely at 100 times, and who owned true treasures of inferior quality, theoretically speaking, the weakest kind of universe master. Of course, with one swift move, it was an instant kill. After all, it was an attack with a strength that was similar to that used to attack Great Thunder Star Master. Using power at this level to attack a universe master whose defense standard was only at the level of the 4th tier as the top level. Naturally, the task was a piece of cake. One smash from Star Tower, and instant annihilation was achieved. Various kinds of true treasures, like a suit of armor, wings, and a 3-story minaret, were left floating about the surroundings. 2 pairs of wings that had turned back to silver wings instantly transformed into silver light and flew to Luo Feng without further ado. Keep. With a wave of his hand, Luo Feng claimed the 2 pair of wings and all other true treasures that had once belonged to Pei-Shing Master. For the time being, he was not keen to look into what kind of treasures Pei-Shing Master had. After all, how many precious treasures could someone who had just come out of a Holy Land universe possibly have? To be able to own 2 pairs of wings was already quite impressive. Wings. Luo Feng caught hold of the 2 pairs of wings that were flying toward him. With a grin, he flew back into his little, white jade boat. Shawu wings were a super strong treasure. The combination of the wings exuded an aura with an oppressive force that was extremely strong. It would be better for him to experiment within the boat of Mausoleum. Purple Moon Holy Land Universe. No. Luo Feng. A bitter and shrill roar was heard, then Pei-Shing Master's avatar, sustained by his godly power, instantly disappeared. The guards that were standing outside the palace were shocked. Their noble universe master, what had happened? His avatar, sustained by his godly power, had disappeared? Annihilated? In the core region of Purple Moon Holy Land Universe, where the universe origin was, a purple figure turned around to look into the distance. His gaze bore through the obstructions in time and space to look at the palace. After all, this was his miniature universe. Everything that happened in this miniature universe, so long as he had the intention of looking into them, could bring about the reversal of time and space to investigate anything that happened. He held Luo Feng in high regard. Besides, the universe master under his command had been annihilated, and before he was annihilated, he had shouted Luo Feng's name. Of course, this would raise concern. Pei-Shing? Annihilated? By Luo Feng? Purple Moon Ancestor immediately sent his command via voice transmission. Juhua. Ancestor. Within his own godly palace, Juhua True God suddenly heard a voice ringing in his mind. Without further ado, he responded with deference. Purple Moon Ancestor continued to give his command. Pei-Shing Master has been annihilated, most likely when attacked by Luo Feng. Send my orders. All of my universe masters who are within the surroundings of Pei-Shing Master's residence must exercise extreme vigilance. Juhua True God was shocked beyond words. Pei-Shing Master was supposed to be in Tilted Sector region, was he not? And Luo Feng should have been in the universe boat, right? Yes, Luo Feng had been missing, without a trace, for a long time. When considering the fastest speed a universe master could travel at, he would most likely make it to the region where Pei-Shing Master's place of residence was. Without further ado, he replied, "Yes, Ancestor. I will transmit your orders right away." The black, little boat was advancing through space at high speed. Obviously, that was Luo Feng, who had once again changed the color of his boat of Mausoleum. The reaction that Purple Moon Holy Land would give in response to Pei-Shing's annihilation was not Luo Feng's concern. Right now, his focus was entirely on his Shawu wings. Amidst the space of inheritance and within the boat of Mausoleum, Luo Feng looked up into the sky and saw 5 huge, outspread wings having a whale of a time. The 5 pairs of wings were crazily connecting and corresponding with one another, exuding bouts of oppressive force. The oppressive force was getting stronger with the passage of time, even stronger than any other supreme true treasures like Black Prison Tower, Yangjun Rod, or Great Thunder's battle armor. It was stronger than everything else Luo Feng had encountered so far. Only 5 pairs of wings, yet the oppressive force was so ridiculously strong. How precious indeed. Luo Feng was in awe. Everything was within his expectations. After all, the 2 pairs of wings were only inferior to a supreme true treasure, so what if there were 3 pairs? Or 4 pairs? Or even 5 or 6 pairs? According to Luo Feng's speculations, it should have been higher than an ordinary supreme true treasure by several levels. After all, these 2 pairs alone were only second to a supreme true treasure. So, theoretically speaking, 3 pairs of wings that corresponded to one another should already possess the power of a supreme true treasure. In midair, the evolution was still in progress. Internally, the 5 pairs of wings were continuously evolving and combining, which might bring about the integration of various secret engravings to form a more extensive and complex diagram of secret engravings. Then, finally, everything came to a rest. Shawu wings. Luo Feng pointed afar, and his godly power was immediately infused into the wings. "Huh?" he whispered. "Indeed, there are injuries." He would not have known if he had not made the comparison. Compared to the previous 2 pairs of wings which had been restored after absorbing the internal blade energy of the origin, these 2 new pairs of wings were obviously one notch lower. Especially when godly power was circulating within the 2 pairs of wings, their powers were obviously greatly reduced. The last time, a large amount of internal blade energy of the origin was consumed. I was hoping this time would be more energy-saving. And also, the 6th pair of wings is yet to be found. Luo Feng sighed. Luo Feng had placed the origin within the first pair of wings of Shawu wings. At that moment, as he manipulated the 2 new pairs of wings into absorbing energy, a tremendous amount of blade energy with extremely terrifying power suddenly came gushing out from the inside the origin. Streams of blade rays visible to the naked eye came surging out from within. These blade rays were circulating in continuous motion about the surface of Shawu wings, especially before the 3rd and 4th pairs of wings, like water flowing through a dry riverbed. The moment these circulating blade rays touched the 2 pairs of wings, they would be swallowed. I will need to wait slowly. Luo Feng sat down right away, cross-legged, and waited quietly. He was experienced. The previous time, to restore the 2 pairs of wings, swallowing energy from the origin had taken around half a day. Time passed. After around 35 hours, the frightening ripples within the upper space started to disperse and finally, everything stopped. It was essential to know that every blade ray wielded an attack that was more terrifying than an attack by any universe supreme master. Even a pinnacle palace true treasure, upon being attacked by a blade ray, would be shattered and reduced to ashes. How strong such a ripple was. "Shawu, how much energy from the origin have you consumed?" Luo Feng asked right away. "Previously, I consumed about 2/10, Shawu replied. "This time around, the amount should also be around 2/10. Luo Feng heaved a sigh of relief. Still acceptable. Internally, the amount of blade storm energy of the origin left was still around 6/10. With only the last pair of wings left, even if it required restoration, there should have been enough energy. The energy within the origin was infused by an existence that far exceeded a universe supreme master. Whether it exceeded it by 1 level or even more than 1 level, one thing was for sure, it was definitely above that of a universe supreme master. Such an existence facilitated the conversion of conserved energy within the origin. It was absolutely the greatest trump card anyone could own. It might have been the most terrifying trump card possible. Unconsciously, the energy that dispersed in all directions would sweep up everything in its path. It would destroy pinnacle palace true treasures, and if all of this energy were gathered at one point, any supreme true treasure in its way was destined for destruction. Especially when it was executed through blades. Then it would be even more terrifying. All this while, Luo Feng still had not used it. While he was in the primal universe, he could not bear to use it, yet when he was in Universe Ocean, there was no need for him to use it. The primal universe had an ironclad law: any attack executed by an individual great being, regardless of how powerful it was, would be suppressed to the level of 6th tier as the top. And once there was an outburst of energy from the origin that originated from any great being, it would be suppressed by the law of the primal universe to the level of 6th tier as the top. If that happened, Luo Feng would greatly regret this opportunity, would he not? He might have suspected that the origin of the primal universe could be suppressed, but he was unwilling to take that gamble. After all, this origin within Universe Ocean was certainly powerful enough to sweep up everything. However, in Universe Ocean, the appropriate opportunity was essential. After all, given Luo Feng's current ability, he was capable of dealing with most of the dangers in his way. "Come here." With a move of intention, the 5 pairs of wings rapidly descended from the sky above and integrated themselves onto Luo Feng's back. With 10 widespread wings on his back, Luo Feng activated his godly power. Silver armor extended out of Shawu wings and very quickly moved to entirely envelop Luo Feng. Battle armor? At the level of a supreme true treasure? Luo Feng was dumbfounded. Luo Feng hadn't expected to get his godly armor in this way, even though Peng Gong Master's Yang Jun Rod and Huge Axe Creator's godly axe could both extend and form armor. Luo Feng had owned 3 pairs of wings before, yet they didn't extend to form armor, so he hadn't expected this. Even though Pei Xing Master had black armor and black wings, Luo Feng hadn't anticipated that the black armor was an extension of the wings. The 5 pairs of wings merged with Luo Feng's body. Under Luo Feng's godly power, his wings extended, covered his body, and formed a suit of godly armor. The spirit of Shawu transmitted a message in his mind. Master, this is the subsidiary armor of Shawu wings. It's a supreme true treasure armor. The message amazed Luo Feng. Supreme true treasure? Shawu wings were a machine-type valuable used by a being much stronger than Universe Supreme Masters, said the spirit of Shawu, sounding upset. 2 pairs of wings are only inferior to supreme true treasures, and 3 pairs can already rival supreme true treasures. As for 4 pairs, they are already more powerful. The wings you have now are from the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 6th pair. Luo Feng nodded. He had acquired the 1st, the 2nd, and the 6th pair before. And he had seized the 3rd and the 4th pair from Pei Xing Master. Only adjacent wings can perfectly integrate with each other, said the spirit of Shawu. There are still some inconsistencies between the 6th pair and the first 4 pairs. The power can't multiply well. However, the first 4 wings are already perfect. They definitely surpass ordinary supreme true treasures, and even the subsidiary armor can rival a supreme true treasure armor. Luo Feng rejoiced. He had seen the endless power in the wing space before, and he knew that Shawu wing was extraordinary. With more and more wings being integrated, it was indeed getting stronger. Why couldn't the first 2 wings form a suit of armor? Asked Luo Feng. Master, the wings of Shawu wing have different functions, replied the spirit of Shawu, continuing to send messages. The 1st and the 2nd pairs of wings are like the foundation, like the roots of a tree. They are the base. With other wings being integrated, other powers will come. I presume that the 3rd to the 5th pair of wings have subsidiary powers, and the 6th pair is for attack. Luo Feng nodded. It made sense. The 1st and 2nd pairs of wings were like the foundation of a skyscraper, the keel of a ship. I see. Attack-type supreme true treasures can all extend to form armors. Luo Feng exclaimed. Machine-type valuables are quite variable and have all sorts of uses. They are also good at fighting those above their level. How can they not extend to form armor? I only have the armor now because this machine-type valuable isn't complete yet. Shawu, what's the power of this godly armor? Be more specific. Firstly, attacks under level 8 can be completely neutralized by godly armors, said the spirit of Shawu. Attacks over level 8 can be weakened to 1/1,000,000th. Besides, the godly armor has a high limit. At least no Universe Supreme Masters can reach the limit. Luo Feng was amazed. Attacks under level 8 can be completely neutralized? And attacks over level 8 could be weakened to 1/1,000,000th? That wasn't too amazing. After all, even Crazy Demon Extermination godly armor could weaken the power to 1/100,000th. However, the limit couldn't even be reached by Universe Supreme Masters. What did it stand for? It meant the weakening power of 1/1,000,000th could be completely utilized. The more powerful an attack was, the less efficient the weakening power of an armor would be. If the enemy was too strong, it might only be able to weaken it to 1/1000th, 1/100th, or lower, which made him more dangerous. Crazy Demon Extermination godly armor was impressive at the Universe Master level. However, when fighting Universe Supreme Masters, its limit would often be exceeded. 1/1,000,000th? Perfectly utilized? Luo Feng was shocked. That means Universe Supreme Masters who have Supreme True Treasure armors can never be killed by material attacks from other Universe Supreme Masters. Right. Luo Feng nodded. It seemed to be true. Those with Supreme True Treasure armor couldn't be killed by material attacks. Only some dangerous places in the lands of extremists could kill them. Teacher Origin was great at soul attacks at top tier level 10. With that subsidiary armor, I won't need to fear any material attacks anymore. Luo Feng was the essence of confidence. However, I can't get trapped in a fight for too long. Attacks were different from defense. Attacks were aided by techniques and true treasures, and they had no upper limit. As for defense, it depended on the armor. Weapons could help sometimes, but the armor was the most vital part. If someone was too weak to defend himself, he had to resort to armor, as only armor could resist material attacks. Even if the armor can weaken the power to 1/1,000,000th, my godly body will still be consumed, Luo Feng thought. Universe Supreme Masters have enormous godly bodies and high-level godly power. I have a small godly body and low-level godly power, and I need to maintain Du and Mir. If I get trapped in a long fight, I'll be doomed. Luo Feng understood that he needed to finish a fight quickly. Compared to real Universe Supreme Masters, one of his weaknesses was that he couldn't get trapped in a long fight. Also, he couldn't exceed the speed limit. Of course, he had Star Tower, Blood Shadow Blade, the subsidiary armor of Shawu Wings, and Boat of Mausoleum to make up for this. The 5 wings were open and floating in front of Luo Feng. He infused his godly power into the wings and studied Shawu Wings. He had found that his Shawu Wings were very special. Valuables like Star Tower or Black Prison Tower had many different levels of engravings, but his Shawu Wings were exceptional and only had 4 levels of engravings. The first pair of wings contained the first level of engravings. The second pair contained the second level of engravings. And the fourth pair contained the fourth level of engravings. There were only 4 levels. The first level was called Space and Time in Chaos, and the second level was called Golden Country. The third level is beyond complicated. Luo Feng frowned. He had already spent more than an era studying the engravings in the space of training. It's more complicated than the 5th level of engravings of Star Tower. That was how it was. As a machine-type valuable, there were few levels of engravings, yet the quality was outstanding. Undying level Luo Feng could have fully comprehended the first level easily. As for the second level, he had practiced in Beast God Sector for more than 100,000 years and had reached Universe Master level on the engraving picture path before he had fully comprehended the second level and practiced Golden Country. As for the third level, it was too complicated even for him. The gap between each level was exceedingly large. But Luo Feng wouldn't give up easily. He could sense that the subsidiary armor was only a side power. The engravings contained on the third wing were truly amazing, which was why he devoted lots of his energy to studying them. Time passed. Boat of Mausoleum started to leave Tilted Peak sector. It spent around 300 years to do so, and 300 years was equivalent to 300 eras in the space of training. Over the course of 300 eras, Luo Feng spent most of his energy studying the godly power path. As for the rest of his energy, he spent it on the third level of engravings of Shawu Wings. Too difficult. I can't understand them. I can't. Boat of Mausoleum flew out of Tilted Peak sector. Luo Feng shook his head. I think it's as complicated as the 6th level of engravings of Star Tower. The 6th level of Star Tower was at top tier level 8. Universe Supreme Masters like Great Thunder Star Master and Father God of the Automaton race could understand the engravings at that level. As for those more powerful, like Huge Axe and First True Master, they could comprehend the engravings at top tier level 9. Teacher Origin was able to comprehend those at top tier level 10. I'm only a Universe Master. After I created a blade technique at top tier level 7, I can comprehend engravings at top tier level 7 or level 8. Luo Feng understood that he needed to create superior blade techniques to fully comprehend the engravings at top tier level 8. He needed a fundamental improvement. Could Universe Masters create blade techniques at level 7? None of the great beings in Universe Ocean thought it was possible. However, those great beings also thought that Universe Masters couldn't even create blade techniques at top tier level 6, yet the selection criterion for Duan Dong River Inheritor was to create a blade technique at top tier level 6 as a Universe Master. Based on the records, many talents from the ancient civilization created techniques at top tier level 6 as Universe Masters. All the inheritors of Duan Dong River did that. Creating techniques at top tier level 7 as a Universe Master was rare in the ancient civilization, yet half the inheritors of Duan Dong River did that. Only 2 inheritors from Duan Dong River created techniques at level 8 as Universe Masters, including the ancestral teachers. Luo Feng had made a decision. After creating Nirvana Incarnation, Luo Feng hadn't created a better technique. He had much better training conditions after getting the inheritance, and it was likely that he could create a technique at top tier level 7. He had to train himself as a potential talent like those from the ancient civilization. It might take me a long time to become a Universe Supreme Master. I'll try to improve my power as much as possible. I'll let them know that after getting the inheritance from Du and Dawn River, I can be their better even as a universe master. He then decided to temporarily give up comprehending the third level of engravings of Shawu wings and to turn to the godly power path and blade technique creation. I can now, in the chaos air, Luo Feng was driving boat of Mausoleum and going to universe boat to get the valuables left by Jie Fanzi. I can totally go look for the last pair of wings. One pair has a very short detection distance. 2 pairs of wings can detect through dozens of light years. 3 pairs of wings. When I first detected Peishing Master, we flew toward each other for around 20 years. The distance must have been thousands of light years, and the summoning was very strong, which means 3 pairs of wings can detect 10,000 light years. That means, for each additional pair of wings, the detection distance must be 1,000 times farther. 4 pairs of wings can probably detect tens of millions of light years, and 5 pairs of wings can probably detect billions of light years. Luo Feng was thrilled, as a miniature universe only had a diameter of 100 million light years. The 3 lands of Extremis were only 100 million light years. The Holy Lands were larger but were still only at billions of light years. If the last pair of wings is hidden in one of the miniature universes, I'll be able to sense it if I fly closer to those miniature universes. Luo Feng grew even more excited. He only had the last pair of wings left for Shawu wings. I'll go find where the last pair is. Luo Feng couldn't resist the temptation anymore. He immediately drove boat of Mausoleum and flew toward the nearest miniature universe. As for valuables left by Jie Fanzi, he would deal with those after getting the 6th pair of wings. This video will end here.